Well, those of you who watched us last year know that I started these strawberry plants from our strawberry patch, where the little vines come out and start a little plant, and I just put some soil in these and set it in there and let it sit. And then after they had good roots, then I put them into the greenhouse, so they wintered in the greenhouse. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, that one died, 5, 6 plants that I'm going to plant here in our berry patch. They don't recommend that you grow your strawberries in the same place year after year, so I've decided to move our strawberry patch in here. We had some raspberry plants here that were kind of awkward, and so we got rid of them, and they're gone now, so I'll just plant a little patch of strawberries right in here.
Why don't you plant one of those plants and right next to the one you've got there? And of course they will put out runners like all strawberries do, and it will be a patch that grows, and only this you keep the growing from by cutting off the runners, or taking those runners and using them to start new plants.
Yeah, and this is pretty good soil.
I was going to say, this looks like some pretty good loam soil.
Yeah, this is pretty good. We've put a lot of straw and all kinds of different stuff in here to help keep the weeds down, and of course it goes back into
composts into the soil too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll have a nice little patch here. You always need to water your plants in. That helps those little fine roots contact to the soil, and that's what you want. And then we'll bring this pine straw back in and put around them. So that's going to be the new berry patch. Now let's go take a look at our potatoes that we have growing in those bags.
I'm kind of excited about those myself.
While we go do that,
let's take a tour of the yard.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's show the yard. It's really starting to come.
Let me come
also, you might notice I still have some plants here to plant.
Yeah, you do have a few plants here that need to be planted yet.
Yeah.
From the greenhouse, but they're out here where they can get water from the sprinklers every evening.
Yeah, I've got some dahlias that must have not made it through the winter, so I'll have to get rid of those.
Anyway, walking the yard, this has just exploded in the last week. Totally amazing.
Now, 2 of the bee balms that I grew, I put in here. There's one of them right there. Looks like our peonies are coming.
They're doing really great. They're all about to explode. What is that?
Eastern redbud tree that I planted. I hope it's not. I may have to move that peony someday, but these I started from just little twigs, so it's coming along. The salvia's starting to bloom, and back there in the corner is it's a type of geranium.
If you recall, last year we suffered an infestation of voles, those little gopher-like critters. And so far, knock on wood, this year we've been watching very carefully. Haven't seen any, but that can change.
This is our cinnamon apple tree.
Yeah, that's from my sister. She started that tree.
Yeah, she did the she grafted it.
Did a graft on it, yeah, and it's supposed to taste cinnamon. And we did get 1 apple off of it last year, and it did have kind of a cinnamon flavor. And as you can see now, it looks like we're going to have a much better crop of apples this year on it. If the frost don't come along and get them before the end of May. Bleeding hearts, I love those. Those are just beautiful.
Yeah, there's some more cannas. Here's another one of the bee balms, and I've got 3 dahlias sitting out here, and I'm going to plant those right along there. Here's a echinacea coming up. Ooh, look at what I got here.
What is it, a weed that I missed?
Yeah.
Ah,
Look at that, it's a bindweed coming up. We've got some little volunteer lupin coming, which makes my heart sing. I love to have that. We have that big lupin, and then I planted a new one this year.
and here in our pear tree, we got one pear off of it last year because of frost. And as you can see, we are, well, if we don't get hit with frost again, we have quite a nice crop of pears coming, which we're happy about. That one pear didn't go very far.
This is a honeysuckle. It's about done blooming. This kind of bush has kind of disappointed me. It's bigger and grows faster than I anticipated. So I may be doing a little more chopping on it this year.
Apple trees are doing good, as they always have. We'll have to thin the apples out here pretty quick. They're down to just a couple per branch or a couple per location. Like right here, we've got a couple, and then we get rid of some of those others to make sure we can get a really good crop out of it. We'll do that on a future episode of Gretchen's Garden and Greenhouse.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're coming around the yard, and we're coming right up on the onions that I wanted to talk to you about a little bit today. As you can see, the patch of onions is about half of what it was here a week or so ago. And that's because some of you, including neighbors down the street who watch Gretchen Garden and Greenhouse, had us send them starts. And I want you to notice right here, you see these little knobs at the top there? That is the start of the heads that will eventually reseed themselves, and they're very good to eat. But anyway, we'll keep you up to breast on that, but that's what's left.
Let's take a look at the iris. We've got some really pretty iris coming. This is kind of a dry place, but as long as they get a little water, iris do kind of like good drainage. But look at this. I mean, that is
those are pretty gorgeous.
This is a champagne color when it's totally out. And then here's a lighter purple. So that's kind of making a nice patch.
Yep.
This is another one of those eastern redbud trees. It's looking good.
Now here's another one of that really deep purple.
Yeah.
These are lilies, aren't they?
Iris.
Iris, okay. Anyway, it's gorgeous. Now we're going to have to place in the fence to fix, I can see.
And then we've got some yarrow coming right here. There's a weed right in the middle of it. Well. And then this is a choke cherry. I dug up a start from this little plant over here and planted it there.
Moved it over, so it's this plant right there that part of it came and moved over here.
Yeah.
With the help of a shovel.
With the help of a shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you notice we've got protection on the stuff in the raised bed. One of the things about Idaho is that we get some pretty good winds this time of the year. It isn't until about June when things start settling down and we can take the protection. And these are here for protection against the wind as much as anything. Even at that, it dries the plants out really, really bad.
Yeah.
I'll take a look inside of here and see what this one, it's doing pretty good.
Well, and I love this. Look at how this one's doing in there.
It really likes its home inside of there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a little summer squash.
Yeah.
It's happy. And here, if you remember, we planted some potatoes in these bags.
In these sacks. This is amazing. And we'll be able to harvest these by just cutting the side of the sack, and no digging the potatoes here. We'll just cut the sack and let them fall out. Or so that's the idea. We've never done this before, so we'll just keep you up to speed as to how they're growing and everything.
So now let's take a look. If you remember, we planted some of our seeds from that we had done microgreens with.
And the microgreens are just about ready to harvest for salad.
So
we could have some
we're
today,
getting some in here that we could start to harvest.
Right over here, we could cut some off for lunch today.
And then down here we have radishes.
Uh-huh.
And here's spinach.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it all.
Yeah. Oh, that spinach is getting some leaves on it over
Yeah,
there. Some
sure is.
true
And
leaves.
next week we'll probably be able to harvest some of the first off of that.